Good morning, everyone. As people are rushing to get their seats, on this glorious day in May, amidst all the incredible flowering trees out here, let us here in Montpelier praise the wisdom of the Western Abenaki people. They've lived on this land for such a long time before us. We offer our respect to the elders, both past and present, and praises be to them for living their deep connection to the earth all these years. We have so much to learn from them, and we'll continue to do so. I'm Pam Walker, your worship associate this morning, and on behalf of the worship team, an abundant group this morning, we welcome all of you. Those of you in the sanctuary and those of you watching live stream. Thanks for joining us and being part of this community with us today. We deeply appreciate your fellowship and your presence in this beloved Unitarian Church of Montpelier. We've been together here for over 155 years, believe it or not. We've been a sanctuary for people seeking justice, spiritual sustenance, and peace and well-being on our planet. And today we continue on that path together. So a few housekeeping things. Please know that we have hearing assist devices available at the table at the rear of the sanctuary, and Kenrick is there, ready and willing to help anyone who needs those devices. And please also know you can watch the service downstairs in the fireplace room if you should need to for any reason. And it's always a pleasure to have newcomers and guests join us for worship on this Mother's Day. If this is your first or second time here and you feel comfortable, please stand and wave, scream and yell so we can say hello to you. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. We hope to see you downstairs in the vestry for coffee hour afterwards. And there you'll have an opportunity to go to the hospitality table and fill out a welcome form if you should like to do that. Now we can all say hello to each other, as we know, our tradition. Say hello to people in front of you, behind you, next to you. We have a few announcements, 3 of them actually. The most exciting one is, actually one of the exciting ones is late breaking news. You may remember that the rummage sale sponsored by the Women's Alliance was all weekend, and they want to share their thanks for clean spring items that were donated for the soft rummage sale this past weekend. The sale brought in, guess how much? $2,145.70. A big shout out to all the people who sorted and folded and sold and put things in paper bags and then cleaned up. There were only 10 bags of leftovers. Janet told me this morning that was a record low. But guess where they went? These 10 bags went to Another Way, the Humane Society, Amy's Armoire, Youth Build, and the art program at Union Elementary. And 2 bags were even taken by Jane Oscartharp to a Cape Cod shelter. So, far and wide. Number 2, we'll be selling tickets today after the service for the Michael Arnowit concert, which will be here at the UU Church on Friday, May 26th. It's sure to be an exceptional event and an exceptional concert, and it's also serving as a fundraiser for UCM. More details and tickets are down in the vestry. At the close of service today, there will be a budget forum led by the executive team and the finance committee right here in the sanctuary. They will brief us on the proposed budget, and we'll have a chance to ask questions. We will vote on on this budget at the annual meeting, which is on May 21st, next Sunday. And now Phil Morse is going to join us for a moment and lead us through the fire drill process. Are we ready?
Good morning. As Margaret mentioned, we will be having a fire drill this morning. When it happens, please proceed in an orderly fashion to the nearest exit. And please do so quietly so that those directing the drill can provide communication. For those of us in the sanctuary, we will exit through these doors, down the stairs, and go out the sidewalk towards the traffic circle. If you exit through the back stairs, go out the north door at the back stair and out to the lawn and parking lot next door. If you exit through the south entrance, wait in the parking lot. Wait there until the fire department directs us to return to the church. If you are a parent or caregiver, your children will be in the classrooms with their teachers who will supervise their safe exit and their wait. Children will exit the building directly from their classrooms down the north exit and out onto the lawn. You would be able to meet them there if you choose to do so. If you normally need to use the elevette, please do not do so, and certainly do not do so in the event of an actual fire. Wait at the back of the church or on the landing, and the fire department will come up and indicate that you're safe to stay. In the event of an actual fire, they would actually assist you in leaving the building. Be aware that when the alarm sounds, it is loud and piercing, and it will be going until the fire department is here and decides to turn it off. And thank you for taking part in this important safety drill.
Thank you, Phil. And just a reminder that right at the conclusion of the fire drill, you're all invited to come back to the sanctuary for the budget meeting. That's your reward. And now it's time to enter more deeply into our time of worship. So we'll take a deep breath, settle into our seats, silence our cell phones, and as we listen to a prelude played by Eliza.
we gather in wonder at the dawning of each new day. Whatever may have happened in the night, whatever storms may have visited upon you, this day has arrived. The sun has greeted you, nudged you into awakening. Morning has arrived. And so we gather in gratitude for this day, for its warming sun, its bird song, its blooming stems, its leafing branches, and its fragrant breezes. We gather for the joy of being alive and for the comfort of sharing the joys and the sorrows of life in community. We gather because day breaks again, beckoning us on, inviting us into discovery and creativity, inviting us into engagement with the world. On this day, we can touch into that creative spark that is within each of us. This spark brings new ideas, new visions, new dreams, and new possibilities. We create from the depths of our hearts, our minds, and our spirits. We create with others out of care and compassion. We gather in affirmation that our creativity grows in community. Let us join in this time of worship, a time of holding up that which is worthy of our reverence and care, with gratitude, with hope, and with an openness to new possibilities. And let us now light the chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. For those joining worship on the live stream, I invite you to light a chalice at home if you have one nearby. We light this flame, an enduring symbol of our collective commitment to lead with truth and compassion. May it kindle within us the longing to create a broader welcome, a larger love, a more sustained peace, and a deeper joy.
Good morning. Whew, that was loud. Donia and I are excited today to invite you into a co-creating experience where we will generate something new, a new piece of art for the world. A note on this is that Dr. Jean Cohen, psychologist and gerontologist, did a lot of studies in the 90s and wrote several books after that, really spreading the word on how we are all impacted biologically and emotionally by being creative and making, right, throughout the lifespan. So no matter our age, we bring our life experiences to what we make, and we should be making together as part of our life. So this is an invitation and an offer to drop into the body, because we'll be doing some moving and some music making. Do you want to?
At this time, if any, the choir wants to move along the sides.
And if
Yeah, and if any of you saw the notice that if you're an instrumentalist, you're welcome to join us. If you do have an instrument and would like to join us, please come on up. I know that Kenrick is here. Yay.
do you want them to come up here? Wonderful. Okay, so we've got some musicians and voices. who will be making some music in a little while, but I wanted to invite all of us, musicians, singers, movers, just a warm up to bring ourselves maybe from here and from getting here on time, and just dropping into the body. And to start, you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or have a softer gaze so that you can come inward to yourself. And later we'll go back outward, but just give yourself some time to come inward and drop into your own body, your own solo maker space. Finding your breath and landing here. Noticing your breath. Maybe it slows down as you drop into your body and land here today. Noticing your own personal geometry, so feet up into the knees, pelvis, rib cage, scapula widening through the neck, into the head, floating on that occipital joint, just floating atop your sturdy skeletal structure. And imagine in your mind and in your body, from the bottoms of your feet. And I forgot to ask, if you do want to stand, you're welcome to do this from a standing shape, or you're welcome to stay seated. Some of us are already standing. If you wanted to make that shift now, that's welcome. So from the bottoms of your feet, there are roots coming out of the bottoms of your feet, as long and deep as you are tall. And I invite those on Zoom to imagine this as well, or on YouTube. So from the bottoms of your feet, there are roots coming out as long and reaching down into the soil as deep as you are tall. And those roots are even reaching down maybe toward our friends' roots, our neighbors' roots. This network below ourselves of energy and life force. And that energy is coming back up into the bottoms of your feet. Energy is coming into the body, coming up through the bottoms of your feet, into the easy knee joints, through the legs, into the pelvic bowl, through our soft bellies, digesting our breakfast, up through the chest, shoulders wide back, through the neck, softening the jaw, through the skull, and imagine a string coming out the top of your head, a string that someone has up there. If you're a marionette in this moment, you're light, they're holding you, you're buoyant. And you're ready to easily begin a shift over the feet, the platform of your feet. Maybe your platform is your sits bones on the seat. But you begin to feel that energy, and it starts to allow your body to shift and move. The body is doing the talking right now. So this is an invitation for the body to do the talking and do what it wants to do in this moment. This is a warm-up. You're breathing, sending oxygen throughout the body to help prepare it to make something new. I invite you to now have the musicians awaken, and I'm going to pass the mic over to Donia.
Kenrick, if you want to just double check your tuning, that would be fine. What we're going to be basing this on is a song that you might recognize from the extended piece that the choir did on Music Sunday. It's one segment of that. But we'll begin just with what we'll call the ground, which is just 2 notes that will be sung back and forth. And you are welcome to sing. You are welcome to not sing. Alana will be leading you in developing some movement. And so it's your choice whether or not you want to add any vocalization to the movement. You can do individual words, which will be projected up there later. So basically, harmonization, adding words, whatever you'd like, as the choir is doing what they're doing. And so we begin just with a...
So we warmed up our voices, we warmed up our bodies, and now we're going to dive into making some movement together. If you're not standing yet and you would like to join in a standing shape, I welcome you to stand. And being seated is also beautiful, and in our dance, it provides levels and different dynamics. So we're going to use 3 motifs today to create movement from. And this will be whatever your body feels when I give you the word, whatever your body, whatever that means for your body. You can create a movement. It can be a simple gesture. And we're co-generating this. So if you are truly at a loss, take your neighbor's movement, okay? So we're going to trade movements, and these can be simple gestures. I'd like you to make sure that you're aware of your own kinesphere around you, and you can feel free to take a step away from your neighbor just to give some more space for your body. Okay, and you could also even, if you're facing straight ahead, you could just do a little angle so that you can see people across the way. Okay, because if we're going to be trying on others' movements, we want to be able to see everybody. Okay, so just it's an angle. So the first word is ocean. Ocean. What does that mean? And again, we don't know, we're improvising, right? We don't know what we're going to make today. So we're all in this not knowing. And sometimes it takes just trying something out to find what your final movement is. So this is a time to play. And again, if you're at a loss, you can take someone's movement. I'm taking somebody's movement right now. Thank you for sharing that, right? Ocean. All right, Barbara. I love that. And I see someone mirroring you, and that is just a beautiful duet back there. All right, so lock in that movement you created. Lock it in. That's your movement for ocean. Beautiful. And Numa's shadowing that, and he's modifying it, which is welcome. You take someone's movement and make it your own. The second word, so bring that to a close, and our second word is rocking waves. What is that for you? Is that, are you going to use a different part of your body to do that one than what you chose for ocean? Rocking waves. And again, try on, trade. If you see Joan doing something, test it out. Test it out. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Let's tack on the first movement to this second movement, ocean. Find your ocean again. And if you don't remember what it was, do something different. All right, ocean. Rocking waves. All right. Lock that second one in, okay? So now we have two. All right, I like that, Donia. That's great, because you can do it right in your kinesphere. The third, home. Home. And that can be a gesture, a movement. Rowan. I love that. Look at Rowan's. That's beautiful. Thank you. Any others? Oh, I like that, Sandra. That's beautiful. Liza. Okay, let's tack those on. And we'll have some, should we bring in a little bit of humming? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go into, what we're going to do now is we're going to tie these together. You're going to build your dance. And we're going to add right now some humming, like we just did. And if you want to hum also with the choir, feel free to do that. If you feel like I can only do the movement right now, fair enough. Which, I'm going to do that. Okay? Ocean. Ocean. Rocking waves. How do you transition from ocean to rocking waves? Try from rocking waves into home. How does that move? into ocean. Rocking waves. Neutral, you stay neutral. We're going to do a sharing just to see what did we make. So I'd like this side to do their dance, okay? So that we can share and witness. So we can bring up the volume, musicians. And this side can go. Give this side an opportunity to share their dance that they made. All right. And beautiful. Thank you. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you, but I wanted to just say thank you so much for jumping into that, taking a risk, and collaborating when we made something new today. And you can take this with you. You can make new dances at home using this model, and hopefully we'll be dancing together again.
Thank you, Alana.
Before we sing the children out to their spiritual exploration groups, I wanted to emphasize that after the fire alarm, please do come pick up your children. They will be waiting for you with their leaders. At this time, please join in singing the children's parting song. Preschool and kindergarten group is downstairs, and the elementary group will be upstairs. Thanks.
Wow. Will you now join me in saying our congregational covenant? It's in the order of service, our congregational covenant. We covenant to speak honestly and listen deeply to each other and the voice within. Treat each other with compassion and honor our differences. Take responsibility for the impact our words, actions, and inactions have on each other. Support each other in times of need and grief, and celebrate the beauty and joy in our lives. Honor the gifts of the past and be gentle with each other as we grow. Encourage each other in the brave work of creating a more beloved community and a world. And forgive each other and start again. Thank you, everyone. The act of giving is a spiritual practice, as we all know, as important as any other element in our worship together. Our generosity is a form of love for one another. Our gifts freely given help us to practice our Unitarian Universalist faith within and beyond our congregation and in our community. Each month through the Community Pouch program, we share part of our collection with an important church fund or community organization aligned with our values. So this month, May of 23, our Community Pouch recipient is a new organization to us, the Vermont Abenaki Artists Association. It's a Native American arts association that serves the public by connecting us to Abenaki educators and artists from the visual and the performing arts, as well as literary genre. So half of our cash offerings will go to this pouch recipient. The other half will directly support the mission and ministry of our congregation. If you want to designate your entire offering to the community pouch, indicate that with a note on your cash, attached to your cash, or in the memo line of your check. Check will go to the church unless otherwise indicated. And we all know the drill, and it looks like the pouches have already been passed to the aisle. So thank you, everyone. We're grateful for all of your generosity in its many forms. So now we're going to enjoy another musical offering played by Liza.
We acknowledge the generosity with which your financial gifts have been freely and lovingly offered this morning, and we receive them with deep gratitude for the difference that they allow us to make for one another within this church community and beyond. Thank you so much. So in our community in our loving community, we hold each other with love and support in times of joy and in times of sorrow. And in that spirit, we join in a ritual of lighting candles of joys and concerns twice a month, which we will be doing this morning. And if you were in the sanctuary and would like to share a joy or concern, I invite you to come forward now and make a line on the left-hand side of the sanctuary. You are also welcome to come forward and to light a candle in silence if you wish. So anyone who would like to speak aloud a joy or concern, you're welcome to come forward at this time. I made Scotty go all the way around. You could have. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I want to share a joy. I'm Scotty Brower. My daughter went back to college when COVID hit at age 42. And yesterday she graduated from Champlain College with summa cum laude and with a bachelor's in social work. Go, Kate. Yeah.
My name is Leah, and I just want to say to Scotty and all the other wonderful mothers and grandmothers out there, of all genders, backgrounds, titles, the role that you might play as a maternal figure, whatever that is to you. Thank you, because as a mom, I know it's really hard, and it's so generous, and I'm grateful to all the elders in this room who've played that role, to me growing up when I was living here many years ago, and to those who are doing so right now. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'll share a concern today, which is my uncle has cancer and is looking like he's about to go into hospice care. And so both I'm deeply thinking of him and also our family as we try to find the best way to support him. He lives alone. Nobody lives within a 2.5, 3 hour drive. So we're all trying to, my sister and dad are there right now trying to figure things out.
I would like to share a joy, I had lunch this week with a friend I haven't seen since high school, and it was really great to catch up after over 15 years of not seeing her. It was really, really wonderful.
And there are undoubtedly many silent joys, sorrows, concerns, and gratitudes that we are holding in our hearts this morning, and we light one final candle for all of those. I invite you to just take a breath with me. We had such a lovely start to our service already in an embodied and reflective and meditative tone. I invite us to continue in that spirit now. As I share with you these words for meditation, especially on this Mother's Day, by Unitarian Universalist minister Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers, the birth mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, the used-to-be dad mothers, and more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complex. For all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the great mother, you are held and beloved. Let us join in a time of quiet meditation together. Can you remember back to when you first knew you had the power to create? I have a distinct memory of a time when my brothers and I were home alone, left to entertain ourselves, and we would make up games of all kinds. And one day we decided that it would be really fun to slide down the basement stairs. And that it would be fun to do that inside of the coffee table turned upside down. Thankfully, this was a short set of stairs, but we dragged the heavy wooden table to the top landing, turned it over, and each got in and took a turn. That day, I learned that I can create a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of fun. We all create in many different ways. We create games from our imaginations. We create nutritious and beautiful meals. We create garden beds full of flowers and herbs and vegetables. We create furniture and tools. We create loving relationships within our homes and our communities. On this Mother's Day, we can recognize that mothering is a creative act and one that people of all genders and whether you are raising children you at home or not can engage in. We can all generate and sustain life. This is one of the most fundamental ways in which creativity is part of being human. We can all create. We can all generate. We can all nurture into being. And you might have noticed that in talking about creativity so far, I haven't mentioned art, painting, drawing, writing, composing. Of course, these are creative activities, but creativity is so often equated with being artistic. And we might assume that only artists can be creative. We can easily dismiss our own creativity because we think we aren't artistic or we're bad at art. So I encourage you to pause any of those judgments that might be coming up and to broaden our understanding of creativity. The author and educator Susie Lee defines creativity this way. Creativity is expressing our inner passions and making something new out of nothing. Pretty wide open. She's the author of a book called Raising Kids Who Care, and she points to parenting as a creative activity. How else are we creative? We can be creative when making a meal, planning a garden bed, rearranging furniture in a room, planning a road trip, designing an experiment, sustaining a friendship, teaching a class full of little ones, brainstorming ideas of any kind. Creativity is not restricted to artistic endeavors or artistic people. It's present in science and math and engineering and every other part of our lives. Creativity can be essential to survival, and it's essential for our health and well-being. It's not a human capacity that is just for some people and not for others. It's a part of being human and can sustain us in challenging times. So creativity can literally change the way our brains work. New neural pathways are made, and when we're engaging in fun, challenging, and expressive activities. Studies have shown that when we are creative, different regions of the brain are actually working together. That executive functioning, planning, and problem-solving side is making new connections with that part of the brain that is daydreaming and mind-wandering. When we are creative, we're engaging all those parts of our being, which supports our health and our well-being emotionally and spiritually. And there are certainly times when we feel like creativity is lacking in our lives, when the emptiness of a blank page or the emptiness of our calendar can feel stifling rather than freeing. And the possibility of creating something new can feel distant or out of reach. I know for me, the long drag of winter can often take its toll on my own creativity, which makes this time of year so refreshing. And we can recognize that there are seasons and cycles in life. Like the earth, we move in and out of periods of fallowness and growth. There are times when we need the rest that comes with inactivity, of not generating new ideas or making anything. Or there are times when we feel like we just can't put forth more effort or energy. And yet there are also times when creativity is flowing, when we feel alive with possibility, ready to take action. And it is natural to move in and out of these states of activity and passivity. When we are in that creative flow, we can notice how energized and alive we feel and how much we can offer to others. Sometimes we need to help our creativity along, and one of the things that has been identified recently as helping creativity is to simply let the mind wander. I love that. How often do we do this, especially as adults? I wonder how many of us have received the message to quit daydreaming. Anyone ever hear that in your life? Quit daydreaming. Yeah. Yet allowing ourselves this freedom can give space for our own inner thoughts to emerge and to come together in ways that we can't control or predict. And much of the time, what emerges is generative and spurs us in a new direction. I wonder how many of you have had the experience of a new idea emerging while you're out for a long walk in the woods, or maybe in the shower where there's nothing else that you need to focus on. Anyone? I have some of my best ideas in doing those two things. Making space for creativity is important for our spiritual well-being, and our creativity supports our collective well-being as we participate in the continual process of change and transformation in the world. We contribute to moving our world in new and more life-giving directions with our creative power. So we were going to engage in a time of reflection and sharing, which we will not have time for this morning. However, I want to draw your attention to the ends of your pews if you are in the sanctuary, and the worship team has created a printout with some reflection questions for you to take home. This is going to be a take-home activity for you to reflect on these questions. And if you are joining on the live stream, in the order of service, you can find a link to this reflection sheet that you can download for yourself. How have you been creative in your life? What have you created? What are you longing to create? I'll invite you to take those reflection questions home with you, to mull them over, to write or draw some responses. And I welcome you to bring your responses back. I just made that up right now. That was not the plan, but I invite you to bring them back to share with others, maybe the next coffee hour. Maybe we'll do a warm-up to the annual meeting next Sunday with sharing your creative efforts. That'll be a great way to get us warmed up for annual meeting. May you know that the spark of creativity is within you, and that this spark is sacred. It is the essence of life and the source of power that brings forth beauty, healing, delight, joy, and liberation. May you let your creativity spark and shine in the days ahead. And now I invite you to please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn. I know this rose will open. If you need the words, it's number 396 in the gray hymnal.